as it has going to be more than 10 hours. The situation seems to be quite grim and challenging, but still efforts are being made as the pipes has been put through the Borewell, through that canal, so that the child can be pulled up through the pulley which they have been which the pulley has been sent to the Borewell. But till now no success has been found. Efforts are still being made, and we are also waiting and praying for the God that some miracle and some good news come out as all the efforts get a good result in the
live
end.
visuals brought to you by my colleague Lalit from Ambala, and we have been joined by ex-IPS officer Yashovardhan Azad. Sir, this in fact brings back the memories of what happened in 2006 in Kurukshetra, not very far from the village here in Ambala, sir, where this 4-year-old boy is right now waiting for rescue. A 4-year-old boy. Something similar had happened back in 2006, as long as 2 decades ago, sir. But things haven't changed. That time it was a miracle. That was around 48-50 hour long, long operation that had, that been undertaken. There was a parallel shaft that was also created. There were a lot of measures that were taken place. In this case, if you could assess, sir, what can be done? What are the chances, sir?
Well, I can only say that this kind of a criminal neglect, which happened, there should be a very, very long for it. My heart goes out to that 4-year kid where the entire village people, because this is such a tragedy, could have been easily avoided. And if only a mud sack or been kept over there, this wouldn't have happened, and the child had gone food for the grandparents. Now, given the situation now, I think they are doing their best, but it's so deep. It's about 220 feet. I believe they have reached up to 180. There is some seepage also. But, a 4-year-old, since 8 a.m., they are at it. I do hope they can do it. It's possible. And, all we can do is to more strength to these officers who are trying to do their best and pray to God for his good health and that he may be rescued.
Right, sir. Do you feel that there could be, what measures can be taken, or rather you can say the challenges, if you could just describe to our viewers in such a situation where you see the water is also seeping, there are rains also that have marred the rescue operations. So in such situations, how difficult could it be to carry out such an operation, sir?
It's certainly difficult, but it's not impossible. Because understand that seepage is there. And I read about it, that, you're expecting rain, this is already on. But they can certainly reach. It's just a question of pulling him out and sucking him. Right now, maybe a little difficult. But I don't know whether an alternative route can be created or something at least to ensure that the child there gets to know that he's being rescued. That itself would be a great incentive for him. I think this is extremely important. Some kind of noise, some kind of music, some kind of camera, which can capture him. That would be a great thing to do. I do hope that the SDRF or the NDRF, which is there, is able to communicate somehow or let the child know that efforts are being made. That will add 50% to the strength of the operations.
Mr. Azad, many thanks for joining us. Yashovardhan Azad, ex-IPS officer, joining us on Republic TV. Viewers, the boy has been trapped since 6 a.m. Lalit, I'll just go across to you once again. Lalit, it was not very far away from the village right now. That is the Dhanaura village, where, Prince was rescued from 20 years ago. And, just hardly 4 to 5 kilometers away from that same locality. And we see that this brings back those memories, but it could again take a miracle, just like what happened in 2006. Now, can you just highlight the measures that have been taken as far as this particular operation is concerned? Has there been any special measure that has been taken so as to reach the child as soon as possible?
In 2006, when Prince fell into the Borewell, there was a long operation which lasted for many hours, more than 40 hours. But miracle that time happened, and he was successfully saved. But 20 years later down the line, if we talk about this operation, which is going on since 7 a.m. here in the Ambala district of Dhanaura village, the operation continues. If we talk about the SOPs and the measures which the local administration are taking, as soon as the boy just slipped into the deep borewell, which was around 250 feet, immediately the family informed the village, the sarpanch, and he immediately just informed the local administration, that is the DC. So by 7:30, the local administration was here on the spot, who further informed the NDRF and the SDRF teams, who immediately reached the spot. So after that, a camera was being sent into the borewell to exactly find where the exact location of the child is. So by 8 a.m., when we had a word with the SDM Ambala, Ishika Gupta, she confirmed that by 8 the camera was inside the borewell, and they could exactly find the location where the child has been. After that, the operation has been there. The DC Ambala then informed to the Indian Army, who has specifications in such operations, the NDRF and the SDRF teams who have specifications in such operations. They all are doing a joint operation, but till now, no success has been received, as it is going to be more than 10 hours. But already 10 hours has passed. As experts also said, we also had word with the senior officials that the initial time has been the golden time. Water is there, water seepage is being done there. So these are the grim challenges which the 4-year-old boy is right now facing. And as the time has passed, it is going to be more than 10 hours now that the operation is, when the child has slipped into the canal. So looking into those situations, miracle. This is only a miracle where a child can be brought safely. But still, all the officials, all the team which are set into operation, they are doing their best so that the 4-year-old boy can be easily pulled out safely, and he can be met with his parents. But still, if we talk about the operation continues, and Republic TV is giving you each and every detail from ground zero. Keep watching Republic TV.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Mann's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover 2 lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time, and now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job, but it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Mann. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Mann at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Mann at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Mann on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way. But there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time. Not always, at least. Not always photographed with a turban. And so there's a distinct difference. So if you see the picture of the younger Bhagwant Mann, you'd actually have a blink and miss moment. Is this the same guy, you'd say? We all age. But some people, their appearance changes distinctly between 12 to 13 years. They're almost unrecognizable. And Bhagwant Mann is, fortunately or unfortunately, among those people. Now, what Bhagwant Mann is trying to say is, the guy you see in the pictures, in the sacrilege video, is not me. And he's banking on the fact that he looks different now. Now look at the picture on the left-hand side, the younger Bhagwant Mann. And look at the pictures on the right-hand side, which is the sacrilege video of 2014, 13 years back, of a younger Bhagwant Mann. And now they look much more similar, don't they? In fact, the more you go close up, you'll find it's probably the same guy. Now, Bhagwant Mann's argument can be privately to some people that if I did something sacrilegious 13 years back, why is it being picked up now? His detractors say it doesn't matter. You did something very bad. Now, to cover himself up, I'll go to the second set of pictures now, which will be of the first original video and the video he's released. In the first original video, Bhagwant Mann is seen doing something terrible, disrespectful, and sprinkling alcohol on pictures of Sikh gurus. And that's the original video. Today, for some strange reason, Bhagwant Mann has come out with his own video. And God knows where he's got this actor from. It seems he's got an actor who's shown in doing some of the same kind of things. And then he's saying that this person in the video is not me. Hello, wake up, Bhagwant Mann, wake up. This is your own video. You made this video. This is the stupidest thing anyone can do. To hire an actor, try to recreate the original visual, which you deny, and claim that the visual in the video which you have made is not you. Of course, it's not you. Bhagwant Mann, let's not be foolish here. You got an actor to do this. And now you're saying the actor has a silicone gel put on him. But where the hell did this video come from, Bhagwant Mann? Are you stinging yourself? Are you being so foolish, so stupid that you've done a sting operation on yourself? Or is it that you hired an actor, Bhagwant Mann, that you hired an actor to do this enactment to deny it was you? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry if the Chief Minister is watching. I want to tell him, you are in a trap of your own making. You're not going to come out of this. You have released 2 videos today to torpedo the cover-up story that has come out of a Haryana police investigation that found that Bhagwant Mann sent the Punjab police to manufacture certain forensic reports to help himself. Unfortunately for Bhagwant Mann, because these kind of pictures have now come out, you can put these silicone masks, make somebody look like somebody else. It's like a Hollywood trick. Did someone tell Bhagwant Mann that I'll pull out a Hollywood stunt to help you? And I want to ask Bhagwant Mann, why the hell have you put out some own videos of yourself? Who does that? You deny that the original video is not you, it's fine, then we'll debate that. But why the hell?
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
By the way, viewers, I'm driving in Delhi with Delhi wala boy Aman Gupta, who is too busy waving to his fans than talking to me. Please come down to earth, Aman.
Yes, I am sorry.
You're on my show.
I forgot.
This is not your show. This is my show. Stop waving to your fans. Be modest. Now everybody look. अरे आप politician हो. आप politician हो. आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? This is too much. आपने बोला humble हो, मैं humble हो रहा हूँ.
You became very famous during Balika Badhu. At that time, there was a huge amount of fame and focus. Right?
There was.
People must be writing about you. The paparazzi would have written about you.
There were no paparazzis at that time.
You're not that old. Don't
No, I mean it. There were no paparazzi.
You were no paparazzi at that time.
There were no paparazzis.
This has happened now? There was no Viral Bayani then?
Back then, it was just,
What do you mean back then? If you keep talking, I'm over a decade older to you. If you keep saying back then I'll stop driving the car here.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean...
What am I then? Back then. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Mann's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover two lies...
Welcome back, friends, to this edition of our Global. We'll begin with growing unrest in South Africa. Anti-immigrant protests have spread across several cities after activist groups issued a June 30th deadline for undocumented migrants to leave the country. Heavy security deployments, business shutdowns, and fears of violence have put authorities in a state of high alert. Next, we turn to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where thousands of protesters have gathered in Rawalkot along the line of control, openly challenging Islamabad's authority. Demonstrators, essentially Kashmiris, are demanding political rights, economic justice and greater autonomy, deepening pressure on Pakistan's administration in the region, even suggesting, if not Pakistan, they can look to India. And then after that, we will focus on the latest twist in US-Iran relations. Conflicting claims have emerged over a possible meeting in Doha, with President Donald Trump asserting that Iran sought fresh talks, while Tehran has denied that any negotiations with Washington are scheduled. Let's begin with the headlines. Anti-immigration protesters agitation erupt in Joburg. The protesters say June 30 deadline for immigrants is to leave the country. A massive anti-Pakistan protests erupt in Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Protesters chant POK not part of Pakistan slogans, say India will take care. Pakistan minister threatens India over Indus water, says we will cut off those hands that do not allow our water to come in. And Trump claims Iran sought Doha nuclear talks, while Tehran denies any planned negotiations as diplomatic uncertainty deepens. All right, let's begin. Anti-immigrant protests have erupted across South Africa as tensions boil over the June 30 ultimatum issued by activist groups for undocumented migrants to leave the country. Streets turned tense as demonstrators gathered and security forces moved in to contain unrest amid fears of violence and looting. Businesses shut down, transport stalled, and many foreign nationals stayed indoors or fled. The situation escalated across major cities. Here are the details.
Streets deserted, shops shut, buses off the roads, and security forces flooding city centres. South Africa is on the edge as anti-migrant protests grip parts of the country, raising fears of fresh unrest and violence. From Johannesburg to Durban, normal life has been disrupted. Businesses have pulled down shutters, workers have stayed home, and thousands of migrants are living in fear as tensions continue to rise. At the heart of the controversy is an unofficial 30th of June deadline issued by activist groups demanding that undocumented migrants leave South Africa. For many foreign nationals, the deadline has been viewed not as a warning, but as a threat. Reports suggest thousands have already fled, while others remain indoors, fearful of becoming targets. With memories of past xenophobic attacks still fresh, police and military personnel have been deployed across major cities to prevent violence and maintain order. The protests reflect deeper frustrations over unemployment, crime and public services, issues that have long fueled anger towards migrant communities in Africa's most industrialized nation. In Durban, scenes of uncertainty unfolded as several foreign nationals were reportedly forced from their homes, with landlords fearing their properties could become targets of vandalism or attacks. Amid the growing tension, President Cyril Ramaphosa has appealed for calm, acknowledging concerns over illegal immigration while warning against threats, intimidation and vigilantism. South Africa has witnessed deadly anti-foreigner violence before, as previous waves of xenophobic unrest left communities shattered and strained the country's image as a champion of human rights and African unity. As protesters take to the streets and security forces remain on high alert, authorities are racing to ensure that frustration does not once again spill over into violence, while the nation watches anxiously to see what the coming hours may bring.
Some pictures of cows there. Moving on, a political storm is intensifying in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where thousands have taken to the streets of Rawalkot, chanting that POK is not part of Pakistan. The protests, going on since June 9, are driven by demands for political rights and economic justice. And they have escalated tensions with Islamabad as crowds continue to swell despite a crackdown and rising unrest in the region.
A political storm is brewing in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and this time the slogans are striking at center of Islamabad's narrative. Thousands have poured into the streets of Rawalkot, stating that POK is not a part of Pakistan. Massive crowds gathered at Rawalkot's Idgah ground, raising anti-administration slogans. Protesters openly challenged Pakistan's control over the territory, demanding greater political rights, economic justice, and an end to what they describe as decades of neglect and exploitation. Protest leaders warned that continued economic blockades and resource shortages could trigger a larger movement against Islamabad's administration in the region.
इसलिए गुजारिश इनसे यही है, यही इनके साथ जो है वो हम जो है वो पुरअमन ज़बान में यही हम इनसे कहना चाहते हैं कि कश्मीर के लोग अब आपकी बैत नहीं करेंगे। कश्मीर के लोग जो है वो कश्मीरियों को, इनकी हालत अजीब है, मीडिया पे बैठते हैं, किसी ने वो बंदर के हाथ में माचिस दी थी, उसने सब चीजों को आग लगा दी थी। इन्होंने इनके हाथ में किसी ने मोबाइल दे दिया, ट्विटर दे दिया। जो होता है कश्मीर पाकिस्तान की रियासत का हिस्सा नहीं है, ये पाकिस्तान के हमसे वफादारी नहीं, तुम पाकिस्तान के उन मेहनत कशू मजदूरों से वफादारी करो जिन्होंने तुम्हें मुंतखब भी नहीं किया हुआ और फिर भी तुम उनके सरों पर बैठे हुए हो।
The unrest follows weeks of tensions across POK, where earlier protests and clashes between demonstrators and security forces left several people dead and many others injured. Islamabad's decision to crack down on protest groups and impose restrictions has only intensified public anger, with fresh gatherings and now drawing thousands onto the streets. As the crowds grow larger and the slogans become louder, Pakistan now faces difficult questions from the very territory it claims to represent.
Staying on Pakistan, even as unrest simmers in the Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Islamabad is threatening India. Pakistan's climate change minister issued a direct threat to New Delhi, saying that they would physically chop off hands of anyone interfering with upstream flows of the Indus River. Facing severe domestic water mismanagement, Pakistan is now attempting to weaponize words against New Delhi's non-negotiable stance on cross-border terror and the keeping in abeyance of the Indus Waters Treaty.
दुनिया क्या कहे, हमारी बात छोड़ दें, आप छोड़ दें ये बात कि मैं क्या कह रहा हूं, ये मिनिस्टर साहब क्या कह रहे हैं। हम तो खैर अपने हक के लिए हम तो ऐलान कर चुके हैं कि जो हमारे पानी पे हाथ डालेगा हम वो हाथ ही काट देंगे। और सिर्फ ऐलान नहीं कर चुके, 2 मरतबा 1-1.5 साल में दिखा चुके हैं कि अगर किसी ने हाथ डाला तो हम हाथ काट देंगे। दुनिया क्या कहे, हमारी बात छोड़ दें, आप छोड़ दें ये बात कि मैं क्या कह रहा हूं, ये मिनिस्टर साहब क्या कह रहे हैं। हम तो खैर अपने हक के लिए हम तो ऐलान कर चुके हैं कि जो हमारे पानी पे हाथ डालेगा हम वो हाथ ही काट देंगे। और सिर्फ ऐलान नहीं कर चुके, 2 मरतबा 1-1.5 साल में दिखा चुके हैं कि अगर किसी ने हाथ डाला तो हम हाथ काट देंगे।
Right, fresh diplomatic uncertainty has emerged over possible US-Iran talks in Doha. While the US President Trump claims Iran requested a meeting on its nuclear program, even rushing Steve Witkoff to Qatar, Tehran has flatly denied that any negotiations with Washington are scheduled. The conflicting claims come even as technical discussions continue under international mediation. Uncertainty prevails in the Middle East.
Almost won militarily, I would say. And it's really very simple. It's the denuclearization of Iran. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon, and they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that, in all fairness.
US President Donald Trump says American negotiators are heading to Doha after Iran allegedly questioned a meeting. Trump says the talks could prove important as Washington pushes for the denuclearization of Iran. Trump also claimed Iran has agreed not to pursue nuclear weapons and said discussions would focus on Tehran's nuclear program.
As you know, oil prices are way down. We hit $69 today. It was higher than that prior to the denuclearization of Iran fight that we have, which we're doing very well. There'll be a meeting on that tomorrow in Doha. And they're going to Qatar. I think they've already left, or they're just about getting ready to leave. So we'll see how that goes. But we're doing very well on that front. But the meeting in Doha is going to be perhaps important, perhaps not. We're going to find out. But we're winning militarily.
US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Kushner are expected to lead the American delegation. But however, Iran has rejected Trump's claims, insisting that no negotiations with the United States are scheduled. Tehran also claimed that there will be no talks with Washington at any level in the coming days. Doha has confirmed that US envoys are in Doha, but says no meeting with Iranian officials is currently scheduled. Iran says its delegation is traveling to Doha only to follow up on the release of the frozen Iranian funds. The diplomatic confusion comes days after a temporary ceasefire eased tensions following missile and drone exchanges. Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz has begun recovering, though the strategic waterway remains under close watch. Technical teams from both sides are expected to continue discussions this week with Qatari and Pakistani mediators. The broader negotiations also include sanctions relief, frozen Iranian assets, and the future of Tehran's enriched uranium stockpile. With Washington speaking of diplomacy and Tehran denying direct talks, all eyes are now on Doha to see whether dialogue finally begins or the standoff deepens.
All right, connected with the same breaking news development coming in, and that's from Doha itself, giving some clarity, if not in its entirety, about what's happening there. Diplomatic efforts surrounding the US-Iran negotiations. Qatar has now confirmed that US envoy, special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of President Trump, will be in Doha for discussions with Qatari mediators, but ruled out any direct high-level meeting between Washington and Tehran. Doha has also denied reports that $6 billion in frozen Iranian funds have been transferred to Tehran, which Tehran had claimed was happening, which means that there is an element of half-truth when Trump says that talks are happening in Doha, but the talks are not happening with the Iranians. Talks are happening with the Qataris, who might relay whatever happens there to Tehran, and that seems to be the clear picture as of now, insofar as the Iranian US talks are concerned, essentially via media being found out, and Qatar mediating now, just like Oman had done earlier, or in between Pakistan, but no direct talks whatsoever between the two sides is the confirmation coming in. All right, moving ahead, a powerful explosion has rocked the wealthy Mediterranean principality of Monaco, leaving 3 people seriously injured, including a prominent Ukrainian businessman and members of his family. Authorities say the suspected attacker fled across the border into France moments after the blast, triggering a cross-border manhunt. The motive remains unclear, but the incident has sent shockwaves through one of Europe's most secure and exclusive destinations.
An explosion in the heart of Monaco has shattered the claim of the tiny luxury principality, leaving 3 people seriously injured and sparking an international manhunt. The blast occurred late Monday night at the entrance of a residential building near Monaco's border with France, sending emergency teams rushing to the scene. 2 adults and a child suffered serious injuries and were immediately shifted to hospitals in France for treatment. Investigators say the suspect escaped on foot shortly after the blast and crossed into neighboring France. Monaco's ruler, Prince Albert II, condemned the incident, describing it as an odious act and assuring that all security services have been mobilized to protect residents. For now, Monaco remains on high alert as authorities race to solve a case that has shaken the principality's image of security and exclusivity.
An Israeli airstrike has destroyed dozens of tents sheltering displaced Palestinian families in southern Gaza, setting makeshift shelters on fire and forcing families, including women, children, and disabled people, to spend the night in the open. The strike was part of a series of attacks across central and southern Gaza that killed at least 8 people. Displaced residents describe a humanitarian disaster, saying they received warning calls shortly before the strike, but still lost their shelters as flames engulfed the camp.
Flames tearing through rows of tents, families running into the darkness, and yet another night of fear for displaced Palestinians in Gaza. An Israeli airstrike ripped through a crowded tent settlement in the Muvasi area near Khan Yunis, reducing shelters to ashes and leaving dozens of families without a roof over their heads. Women, children, the elderly and people with disabilities were among those forced to flee as fire spread through the camp moments after the strike. Residents say they had barely escaped when the bombardment began, leaving behind the few belongings they had managed to rebuild after months of displacement.
اتصل امبارح جيش الدفاع علينا المنطقة هذا تكلم قال ارفع ايدك فوق في الجوال رفع يدك قال المنطقة هذه انتم واقفين فيها كلها تخفي تاما خلينا ربع ساعة طلعنا اطفالنا من المخيم ونسواننا والعجايز والكبار كبار السن وختياري وعندنا معاقين في المخيم برضه وعندنا اطفال وعجايز ومسنين دوبنا طلعوا دوبنا وصلنا بير زنون قلنا 400 متر شرق على بير زنون دوبنا وصلنا المسافة اللي قلنا عنها اجت الحرب وضربت المكان كارثة إنسانية أنا خيمتي وخيمت أولادي وأطفالي راحت كلها.
The strike was one of the several reported across Gaza, where violence has continued despite efforts to maintain a fragile ceasefire.
طلعنا من دمار لدمار ثاني، طلعنا من الصفر اصلا من نفس السنه وقفنا على رجلينا جبنا فراشنا جديد، كل غراضنا جداد شراي كل جديد، خيامنا ما شهرين صرنا شراي ايام المطر كلها راحت بالمنخفضات، جرينا الحمد لله وقفنا على رجلينا، شو هذا وقف اطلاق النار هذا؟ وين طلق النار بيقولوا عنه؟ وين العرب طلعوا علينا في يوم كأس العالم تفرجوا علينا؟ وين العرب؟ تفرجوا علينا احنا بنموت كل يوم كل ثانيه، ولا طول الليل هجتوا في الشوارع ما نام الليل كله ما نامهم بيصرخوا طول الليل بيصيحوا. ايش اطلاق النار وقفوا عنه بيحكوا عنه هذا اطلاق النار حرام عليهم بحسوا فينا، بدناش منهم حاجه يصير يبعدوا اليهود عنا والحرب عنا والقصف.
Health officials in Gaza say civilian casualties continue to rise, with women and children accounting for a significant share of those killed in recent months. As the smoke clears over another shattered camp, families are once again left searching for shelter and wondering where they can go next.
All right, some developments of upset from the FIFA World Cup. Paraguay have pulled off a major upset at the Cup group stage by defeating four-time champions Germany to book their place in the round of 16. The historic victory marks Paraguay's best World Cup performance in more than a decade and brings an end to Germany's campaign in the tournament. In another match, even Netherlands was knocked out, and those two big claimants to the Cup now out of the FIFA World Cup 2026 taking place in Mexico and the United States. With that, we come to an end of this bulletin of our global. This is all what we could pack for you from across the world in 20 minutes. Short break coming up on the other side. This is exclusive with Niranjan.
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection. देश का किसान, देश का हीरो.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात. वाओ मम्मा क्या स्वाद है. अरे मेरी राजा सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover two lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time. And now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job. But it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Mann. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Mann at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Mann at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Mann on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way. But there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time. Not always, at least. Not always photographed with a turban. And so there's a distinct difference. So if you see the picture of the younger Bhagwant Mann, you'd actually have a blink and miss moment. Is this the same guy, you'd say? We all age. But some people, their appearance changes distinctly between 12 to 13 years. They're almost unrecognizable. And Bhagwant Mann is, fortunately or unfortunately, among those people. Now, what Bhagwant Mann is trying to say is, the guy you see in the pictures, in the sacrilege video, is not me. And he's banking on the fact that he looks different now. Now look at the picture on the left-hand side, the younger Bhagwant Mann. And look at the pictures on the right-hand side, which is the sacrilege video of 2014, 13 years back, of a younger Bhagwant Mann. And now they look much more similar, don't they? In fact, the more you go close up, you'll find it's probably the same guy. Now, Bhagwant Mann's argument can be privately to some people that if I did something sacrilegious 13 years back, why is it being picked up now? His detractors say it doesn't matter. You did something very bad. Now, to cover himself up, I'll go to the second set of pictures now, which will be of the first original video and the video he's released. In the first original video, Bhagwant Mann is seen doing something terrible, disrespectful, and sprinkling alcohol on pictures of Sikh gurus. And that's the original video. Today, for some strange reason, Bhagwant Mann is...
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection. देश का किसान, देश का हीरो.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात. वाओ मामा,
क्यों करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री यूपीआई क्यूआर, ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम.
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ.
8 मिनट में तैयार.
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला.
By the way, viewers, I'm driving in Delhi with Delhi wala boy Aman Gupta, who is too busy waving to his fans than talking to me. Please come down to earth, Aman.
Yes, I am sorry.
You're on my show.
I forgot.
This is not your show. This is my show. Stop waving to your fans. Be modest. Now everybody look. अरे आप politician हो. आप politician हो. आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? This is too much.
आपने बोला हम्बल हो, मैं हम्बल हो रहा हूँ.
You became very famous during Balika Badhu. At that time, there was a huge amount of fame and focus, right?
There was.
People must be writing about you. The paparazzi would have written about you.
There were no paparazzis at that time.
You're not that old.
No, I mean it. There were no paparazzi.
You were no paparazzi at that time.
There were no paparazzis.
This has happened now? There was no viral bayani then?
back then it was just,
What do you mean back then? If you keep talking, I'm over a decade older to you. If you keep saying back then I'll stop driving the car here.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean.
What am I then? Back then. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said that Bhagwant Mann's problem is that in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover two lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time. And now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job. But it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Mann. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Mann at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us here on Republic TV. You're watching This is Exclusive at 7 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, while we get you the news daily from across the country, there is something happening in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, POJK. We call it POK, but POJK. There's something happening and it's been ongoing for almost 2 months now. Almost 2 months. There is a revolt. And today people in POK are openly saying we do not belong to Pakistan. They want a reintegration with India. We have some breaking news from POK. Here are the headlines this evening. Massive protests erupt in POK. Protesters say that POK is not part of Pakistan. They add that India will take care of them. Pakistan minister openly threatens India a day after they were celebrating Track 2. They're now saying they will cut off India's hand. There's no point of Track 2 with a country called Pakistan. Prime Minister holds a key meeting on reforms and ease of doing business with secretaries of different ministries in the national capital. And the breaking video here on Republic this evening, Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir witnessing one of its strongest public uprisings in recent years. And this time, the anger is going beyond what we used to see before of just a few protests, blockades, etc. There is a huge political challenge for the Pakistan government. Now, these protests that have been ongoing, they've escalated with the people of POK now saying openly in protest that POK does not belong to Pakistan. They're saying POK is not a part of Pakistan, and if Pakistan can't take care of them, that India will come in and take care of them. Now, these slogans are being openly chanted in Pakistan as of this minute. Take a look at the breaking video first up. This is the video that came into our newsrooms today.
वहाँ पर सीज़फायर लाइन पे 0 पॉइंट पे तितली नोट हमारी खवातीन और हमारे बच्चे वहाँ धरना दे के बैठे हुए हैं। ये जो कहते हैं कि राशन जो है वो कश्मीरियों का राशन बंद करेंगे, मैं कहता हूँ हमें तुम्हारे राशन की जरूरत नहीं है, तुम्हें हमारी जरूरत है। थोड़ा ख्याल करो, तुम्हें हमारी जरूरत है। कहीं ऐसा न हो कि बाकी रास्ते खुल जाएं और फिर तुम हमारी मिलते करो, हमारे तरले करो। कहीं ऐसा न हो कि तजारती रास्ते फिर बाकी इख्तियार कर लिए जाएं। इसलिए गुजारिश ये है, हालात को नॉर्मल करने के लिए हुक्मरानों को ये अवाम की स्टेट है, यहाँ पर कोई मार्शल लॉ नहीं है, यहाँ पर कोई डिक्टेटर नहीं है। अगर कोई डिक्टेटर हो तो हम किसी डिक्टेटर को नहीं मानते। कश्मीर के अवाम किसी डिक्टेटर को कबूल नहीं करेंगे, किसी भी डिक्टेटर को कबूल नहीं करेंगे। इसलिए गुजारिश इनसे यही है, यही इनके साथ जो है वो हम जो है वो पुरअमन ज़बान में यही हम इनसे कहना चाहते हैं कि कश्मीर के लोग अब आपकी बैत नहीं करेंगे। कश्मीर के लोग जो है वो कश्मीरियों को, इनकी हालत अजीब है। मीडिया पे बैठते हैं, किसी ने वो बंदर के हाथ में माचिस दी थी, उसने सब चीजों को आग लगा दी थी। इन्होंने इनके हाथ में किसी ने मोबाइल दे दिया, ट्विटर दे दिया। जो उठता है कहता है कश्मीरी जो है वो पहले वफादारी करते हैं। कश्मीर पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा नहीं है, कश्मीर पाकिस्तान की रियासत का हिस्सा नहीं है। हमसे वफादारी नहीं, तुम पाकिस्तान के उन मेहनत कशू मजदूरों से वफादारी करो जिन्होंने तुम्हें मुंतखब भी नहीं किया हुआ और फिर भी तुम उनके सरों पर बैठे हुए हो। उनसे वफादारी का जो तरीका कार बनाओ। वहाँ लोगों को रोजगार दो, लोगों को इंसाफ दो, लोगों को तालीम दो, लोगों को वहाँ पर जिंदगी दो, एक जो है वो बाइज्जत जिंदगी वहाँ पर कोशिश करके लोगों को दो।
And ladies and gentlemen, the way Pakistan has been treating the people of POK, you had videos of Pakistani army, Pakistani rangers shooting at these protesters. Now, these are civilians in POK who've been asking for their basic rights, for relief, for support, for economic backing. They've been shot at point blank, and the latest video that we have, and that's another breaking news update right now, Pakistani drones have been seen dropping RDX. These are packets of RDX. It's a Republic exclusive. We had videos coming from POK of Pakistani drones bombing RDX from the skies. RDX dropped from the skies onto people, onto protesters. That is the kind of brutality that the people of POK have had to endure. So on the broadcast this evening, as we get you the details and the pictures coming in from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, let me go across to Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, PVSM, AVSM, VSM, a former DG Artillery in the Indian Army, joining us as a strategic affairs expert, and along with Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza, who's an activist from POJK. Originally, he's live from London. Okay, first up, General Shankar, looking at the videos, in fact, this has been ongoing, and this is not stopping. And somewhere we get a sense with each day, the kind of videos and comments and slogans that are being heard. It appears that even the people of POJK have had enough of Pakistani government.
Yeah, thanks a lot for inviting me at the outset, and very good evening to Dr. Mirza also, who's joining us from London. What I'd like to put across is, look, this is an unprecedented scale of protests which are happening in POJK. POK, I'll prefer to call it POK, right? And it has not happened so far, the scale. The violence itself is about 26 days old, but the protests you go back to about 2 months, like you rightly said. In the past 3 years, every 6-7 months, there's been a protest of some kind in POK. And each year, each protest, the protests have become bigger, the violence has become bigger, and the issues have become until things like Sadak Pani Bijli, which the government of Pakistan is unable to provide. More importantly, Pakistan, the people of POK, they have one simple request. They say, look, they want representation. If there's no representation, there's no taxation. It's that old thing, no taxation without representation. And they don't have representation because POK is governed directly by the Prime Minister and the Pakistan Parliament and Pakistan government. There's no, they don't have any recourse to law, anything in Supreme Court or their legal system. So Pakistan occupied Kashmir is in a very, very funny state. And then the Pakistanis have split this into two further parts, calling it POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan. Now they've already held sham elections in Gilgit-Baltistan for which there are no results. And some jiggery-puggery is going on out there. And they're trying to do the same thing here also. Now, this is like, putting a matchstick to kerosene oil. So you know what's going to happen. But then Pakistan has different calculations because it doesn't have a political way of dealing with this. The only way Pakistan will deal with all of them is through repression. And more violence is just on the cards. That's the way, that's the Pakistani playbook. You'll have to just look across what they've done in Balochistan. Balochistan is essentially a political problem, which is being handled militarily. You see Afghanistan and Taliban. After all, Afghanistan, Taliban were all the creation of Pakistan. Now those people are against them. Whatever has happened in POK was, the handiwork of Pakistan. And now the very same people are against them. So you see a familiar set of events happening in Pakistan. Okay. Now, what I'd like to put across to everyone is, the Pakistanis have, the POK people say that, look, India can help us. India will help them. In fact, our external affairs spokesperson has said, we have noted the whole thing and we're going to help them. And probably for the first time, India has made this comment publicly to say that it will help them. What will be the contours of this help? How will this help go? Everything is to be seen. That's the first part. The second part is, look, we have to also be clear. What is the stance of the POK people as far as India is concerned? What is the stance of the POK people as far as Pakistan is concerned? If you see in this, they're still talking of being within the constitution of Pakistan or within the framework there. It will not lead to anything. We should be very clear that what we are doing here. Please remember, this is our land. The entire land of POK is ours. We should have a game plan very clearly as to how we are going to get it back. And we should have a political outreach to this, this area. The protests or everything is just part of the story. And we need to take this. A lot of people in India say we need to have a military solution for that, invade POK and retake POK. It will not happen. It will happen only politically. And I go with what our defense minister said that, look, one day the people of Kashmir, POK, will say we want to rejoin with India. Are we having a strategy to get that back? I'm very clear about it. Okay. That's what I think we should do. And this situation is going to go worse as we go along. They might come with some promises and all that, but all those promises are empty because the promises given last time the protests happened to the people of POK have not been fulfilled by Pakistan. And Pakistan can't do it because it's economically bankrupt. So the basic needs, Sadak Bijli Pani, from where I started, remain. Yeah. And they are not fulfilled, they're not going to be fulfilled. So India needs to have a very clear game plan as to how to, capitalize on this situation because, like I said, this land is ours and we must take it back politically.
Yeah, sir.
Over to you.
Sir, look at the videos and I want to bring in Amjad Ayub Mirza here. Mr. Mirza, we saw videos of people being shot in the leg, shot in the chest, some being shot in the head. this video that came in. I want to show the video of the RDX being dropped from the skies from the drones. RDX was dropped from the skies, we were told. We hear that you still have some details pouring in. What is the situation there of the kind of brutality that the people of POK are seeing? If you can share with our viewers, please.
Well, the brutality is being, uploaded on every social media platform. So there's nothing for me to add to that. The situation is getting worse. There's no doubt about that. But answering some of the issues here about India's intervention, people of Pakistani-occupied Jammu Kashmir do not expect that India will intervene. I'm telling you this in very clear words, because when I say intervene, I'm not talking about Indian army marching into POJK, because that is impossible. I'm telling you now, that is impossible. And if India tries to liberate POJK by sending troops in there, they will get bogged down in a very, very long war with Pakistan. What the people of Pakistani-occupied Jammu Kashmir expect from India is support, verbal support, moral support, in form of, statements from the Prime Minister of India, from the Foreign Minister of India, from the Defense Minister of India, from the Home Minister of India, and moreover from the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu Kashmir, Manoj Sinha. Because Manoj Sinha, if you think that POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan are part of India, then Manoj Sinha also should be acting as a Lieutenant Governor of POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan. But what the people of POJK have seen over the years is that India and Pakistan have used Kashmir issue for a tit-for-tat diplomatic...
There, 1 minute. I disagree with you, sir, because our Prime Minister has mentioned it. Our Prime Minister said POK belongs to India. Our Defense Minister has said it, that POK will reintegrate
that
with
is
India.
Not, that those are diplomatic. Those statements mean nothing. The statement should have been that we condemn the violence in POJK. We demand that the trade route should be opened so that the economic blockade that Pakistan has now set up should be, we should compensate that by sending rations from the LOC. These are all cosmetic statements. ये हो जाएगा तो हमारा टू टांग की ऐसी की तैसी फिरी हुई है. तो ये सब ड्रामेबाजी है, इनकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं है इन बातों की. और POJK के जो लोग हैं, they are not stupid, they are quite sensible, and they will not join India, the public, just like that. People have got self-respect, to talk like it is ये हमारा है और हमारे पास आ जाएगा. भाई आपका कहाँ से हो गया? आपने तो 1947 में हथियार डाल के तो यूनाइटेड नेशन में चले गए. आपका तो तब होता कि आप इसको हासिल कर लेते और फिर पाकिस्तान आपसे ये ले जाता. तो now the situation on ground is कि in Jammu, Indian side of Jammu, but Prime Minister is not intervening, the Indian government is not intervening. ऐसे UN में statement दे देने से या ये चीजें, people have been seeing these kind of cosmetic statements, and they're talking from a pedestal, hamara hai, or ye. People, you can't win people by saying that. You have to prove hamara hai. You have.
Can I quickly get in? Okay, to what you've said. Okay, I respect what you've said, but I have very little time. General Shankar, if you can, in about 30 seconds, because I have to end the show. If you can rebut him, because I'm not so sure it's that simple. Does he have a point? Does he also have a point? I'd like your view on that.
No, it's not so simple. It's not so simple at all. Right? The people in POK have changed. The original demography of POK is long gone. The new people in POK and the changed demography of POK, is not exactly for India. They have to be very clear. Probably this for the first time they are saying India will feed us and all that. But they are also very clear that they are still part of Pakistan. This is not going to be an overnight affair that, you will get this thing back. And I will not like the idea of, someone saying that our Prime Minister and Defense Minister are speaking from a high pedestal and they don't know what they're talking of. It's not so easy, right? Unless the people of POK really want India involved, I don't think it's a good idea to go get involved. I would rather let Pakistan, cook in its own pressure cooker. Let it happen. And when some things go to a boil,
let people die. You want people
the results will come out automatically.
Die.
Okay. The next thing is you have to understand. Look, I'm looking at it from an Indian point of view. The point is.
So, but does he have a point in terms of statements, sir? But does Amjad have a point?
From a human point.
Yeah, 1 minute. Does Amjad have a point in terms of making statements to condemn the violence? Because we haven't heard the violence. Okay, you have an MEA spokesperson come out. I think an MEA spokesperson came out and said something to condemn the violence. But is that enough? Should ministers also ramp up the pressure? Is what he's asking.
Look, it's like this. I'll put it this way. Yeah, definitely there is a case for, people in Jammu and Kashmir talking. There is a case for political outreach to happen to the next level. Will this happen or not is a calibrated, thought process. I am sure the government of India is taking the right thing, will do the right thing at the right time. It's not so that, just because, two people on TV want this to happen, it will happen. Right? And I am very sure that the government of India is assessing it. That's why I said it is for the first time I've heard of the external affairs, spokesperson saying that they've taken note of it and that they're willing to help POK. That itself is the first step. And this is not going to happen overnight. This is going to take time.
Okay.
As things go worse, they will go worse in POK because Pakistan doesn't have the bandwidth to handle it.
Okay.
So we'll
No, they will go worse because India is
going
not stepping in. They will go worse because India is not stepping in. They will go worse because India is shying away from the reality that it is India's duty to save the Bhartis. These are not Pakistanis. वो कह रहा है कि ये जम्मू कश्मीर POJ के जो है ये भारतीय रियासत पाकिस्तानी रियासत का हिस्सा नहीं है.
I understand your emotional.
These are Indian citizens. You don't even recognize them as Indian citizens. आप लेड बैक होकर कह रहे हैं ठीक है देखेंगे अभी होने दो. Goodbye.
Okay, sir, I'll leave it at that. So only because I've run out of time. Okay, I think he just cut the line there. Sir, General Shankar, I'll leave it at that because I have to take a break now. I've completely run out of time. So thank you, General Shankar and Ayub Mirza, for joining us on this edition of This is Exclusive. Taking a break now. Have to take a short break and we are back with Super Prime Time next. The debate with Arnab coming up at 8 p.m. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट.
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान.
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ. हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से MTH का जल जीरा जीरा से.
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा.
जिंदल साथी सील है तो असली स्टेनलेस स्टील है.
तो जब भी आप स्टेनलेस स्टील पाइप्स एंड ट्यूब्स खरीदें, जिंदल साथी सील जरूर चेक करें.
जिंदल स्टेनलेस, India's leading producer of stainless steel.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ.
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट,
सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk tonight about an incident where an FIR got registered against 4 people. This is an incident which has happened in Madhya Pradesh, in Ujjain, and there is this strange video which shows a van suspended about 40 feet in the air. And it's suspended with a crane, some kind of a huge big crane. And there are explosives which are put inside this van, and then the van is detonated. Watch this very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. This is apparently during a Muharram procession, where the organizers fill a car with explosives, lift it 40 feet in the air with explosives, put a slogan on.
जिंदल साथी सील है तो असली स्टेनलेस स्टील है।
तो जब भी आप स्टेनलेस स्टील पाइप्स एंड ट्यूब्स खरीदें, जिंदल साथी सील जरूर चेक करें।
जिंदल स्टेनलेस, इंडियाज लीडिंग प्रोड्यूसर ऑफ स्टेनलेस स्टील।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
ऑक्टोरोमा मैनुअल वाइंडिंग, 4 लोगों के पास है ये।
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा।
कमला पसंद, सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद। कमला पसंद पान मसाला।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
That in the process of covering up one lie, he is lying a second time. So to cover 2 lies, he lies a third time and a fourth time. And now he's in a big trap. He is doing everything possible to save his job. But it's going to become more and more difficult for him. Plus, I think he has some very foolish advisors. You see, this controversy is about a younger Bhagwant Mann. He's about 52 years now, 52 or 53. And the video apparently goes back to the time he was 39 years old. This is a video he's released. Let me first show you the other video, the controversial video. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of Bhagwant Mann at the age of 39. And visibly, over the last 13 years, he's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. We all age. But there's a distinct difference in facial appearance. I'd like to show you a picture of Bhagwant Mann at present, which is about 52, 53 years old. And Bhagwant Mann on the other side at the age of 39, when he was a performer. Well, he is still a performer in a way. But there's a distinct physical difference. A, he's put on a lot of weight. His face is much more puffy. He's older. He's wearing a turban. He was not wearing a turban at that time. Not always, at least. Not always photographed with a turban. And so there's a distinct difference. So if you see the